Okay, more of the Chapter 3 practice test. This is number 9. We just want to take the derivative of the arc secant of 3x squared. And what we have here is u. This is just not a function. It's just not x. It's a function. So we're going to have to use the chain rule. This is u, which is 3x squared. Du, dx is just 6x. So we have to get out our flashcards again, look at our formulas, and we want the derivative of the arc secant, which I just had out just a second ago so I could use it. There it is, right there. So there's the formula for the arc secant. The derivative is 1 over the absolute value of x times the square root of x squared minus 1. So you're going to transfer this over, and again, remember on your flashcards you would have the derivative of that. Okay, so that's just going to be 1 over the absolute value. And it's going to be now not x but u, so it's going to be 3x squared times the square root of x squared, or in this case u squared, so it's going to be 3x squared squared, all right, minus 1. And then we have to multiply also times the du dx, which should be in this case times 6x. Okay, that's all we have to do. All right. And now the absolute value of 3 is just 3. Now x squared is always going to be positive, so that's just going to stay positive. So that's just going to equal 1 over 3x squared. And then I've got the square root. And 3x squared squared is just going to be 9x to the 4th. 9x to the 4th minus 1. And then we've got the 6x on top. So I could put times 6x. But now I can simplify because 3 goes into 6 twice, and one of these x's will make one with that, x over x. So we'll end up with 3 goes in there 2 times, so I got 2 on the top. And on the bottom, I've got just 1x left in front of the square root of 9x to the 4th, 9x to the 4th minus 1. So that would be your nice simplified answer right there. Okay, so that's number 9, arc secant. With a little simplification, the chain rule helps us simplify. Okay, number 10. Okay, number 10, what we wanted to do is we wanted to find the lines, actually the equation of lines that are tangent and normal to the curve y equals the secant of x. We got the secant, not the inverse secant, not the arc secant, just the secant. Okay. So y equals the secant of x at x equals pi over 3. So y equals the secant of pi over 3. Okay, so this is the equation. And we want to find out at x equals pi over 3. So what's the y going to be? Because we need the point of tangency, x and y, both coordinates. So y will equal the secant of pi over 3. When x is pi over 3. Okay, secant of x. Well, the secant is 1 over the cosine. The cosine of pi over 3 is 1/2. 1 over 1/2 is 2. So y equals 2. So that's my y value. So the coordinates would be pi over 3 and 2. Now I have to find the slope, so I have to take the derivative. Well, the derivative of the secant is just the secant times the tangent. And we want to evaluate the derivative at pi over 3. So we put pi over 3 into this x. Well, we already know what the secant of pi over 3 is. That's nice. We just figured that out. That was 2 from over here. So that's 2. And what's the tangent of pi over 3? Well, that's the square root of 3. So this is my slope. So this is the slope of the tangent line. So the slope of the tangent line is going to be just y minus y1. Now this is your point. So the pi over 3, this is your x1, y1. So it's going to be y minus y1 equals m, which is 2 times the square root of 3 times x minus x1. So that's pretty easy. Now the normal line, and we ask you just to leave this in point slope form. So that's all you have to do. Don't do anything else. Leave it like that. So all I want to do is make sure you can set it up. Determine what the slope is and the y value at the given x value. Okay? And then the normal line is just the same setup, y minus y2, x minus x1, I'm sorry, y minus y1, x minus x1, except the slope is of the normal line, m of the normal line, is just the negative reciprocal, so that's going to be negative 1 over 2 times the square root of 3. And you don't have to rationalize, just leave it like that. So there's your normal line. Okay. So y minus 2 equals negative 1 over 2 times the square root of 3 times x minus pi over 3. So that was the A and the B part. Okay, this was A, this was B. Okay, so I hope that makes sense, and I hope it helps.